Well, welcome to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, really weird cinema edition. But first, probably everybody's heard this by now. It happened a couple of days ago that Ozzie Osbourne has passed away. I think he was 76 years old, dealing with Parkinson's and some other health issues. And right after his last performance, and he passed away. And it's sad because Ozzie was the godfather of heavy metal. I actually did see Black Sabbath back in the day, before Paranoid came out. I think I said before, I'd been dating a girl who was Al Hayward's niece in Jersey. And Al Hayward was the partner of a huge promoter down the road, John Shear, but they broke up before they started hitting these big arena concerts. But I saw bands like the Byrds, Canned Heat, Mountain, Steppenwolf, and Black Sabbath, dating her. And I saw Black Sabbath at Montclair State in the gymnasium. So I probably saw Ozzie way before I knew who Ozzie was, before Ozzie got, the individual fame that he deserved. So, sadly, rest in peace, Ozzie Osbourne. But now let's go back to a movie from 1980. Me and Big Al were doing something in New York, and we were running late, and the traffic was getting jammed up, and we decided to go grab a bite to eat at Szechuan Cuisine on East Broadway, which is probably the best Chinese food I ever ate. So we got back, we decided to take in a movie, and we're walking up 42nd Street. It may have been the Liberty, I'm not sure, but there was a film called Alien Contamination playing, and I think the co-feature was Adios Savada. Anyway, Big Al had a weird taste in movies, and he was a big fan of Alien. So he thought we were going to see an Alien-type movie, so we went in and proceeded to be he proceeded to be disappointed. I wasn't, because I knew it was going to be a fucking clusterfuck. It opened up with this boat going into a New York City harbor, and a police detective and two scientists going to investigate it. Well, when they get on, they find a bunch of shredded bodies and these big avocado-like things that are supposed to be eggs. One of them is wedged under a steam pipe and is getting warm and starting to pulse and undulate. But, of course, somebody's got to pick the fucker up, and when they pick it up, it explodes, and two people are covered with this, gook, green organic gook for whatever reason, and then they explode. And the whole thing is that basically the lieutenant survives, and they decontaminate him, and they're trying to find out what's going on. And they trace these, actually they go on board the ship and they freeze all the eggs to keep them from exploding. And they pull one out and they take this extract out of it, which they shoot into a white rat that explodes. So now they find a warehouse in New York full of these damn things, and when they knock on the door, one of the warehouse guys shoots the lead cop in the head. There's a bunch of people in the warehouse, and for whatever reason, they shoot one of the eggs, the gook flops on them, and they all explode. They burn the warehouse to the ground. Well, now they're tracing these eggs to somewhere in South America. And they get this astronaut who was one of two who landed on Mars, and he claimed he had seen all these eggs and this weird shit going on, but he was poo-pooed out by the other astronaut and considered completely crazy. Well, they go seek him out. He's drunk, and he's played by Ian McCulloch from Zombie fame. And he tells them what he saw, but of course the other astronaut is supposedly dead. Well, he really isn't. So they go down to South America, and the lady scientist is taking a shower when somebody puts one of the eggs in her room, and it's just about to explode when she gets rescued. So, it seems the crux of the matter is that this astronaut who mysteriously disappeared brought some kind of spore back to Earth, which grew into this cyclopsy thing with a big sideways vagina as a mouth on the bottom. And I guess they're planning to take over the Earth. It wasn't too clear what the fuck was really going on. But anyway, the Cyclops thing eats the cop after it kills it, sucks it into its little vagina mouth, and is going to eat the lady scientist until Ian shows up and puts a bullet through the one eye, because they get the meltdown. And it seems that if the cyclopsy thing is dying, so is the astronaut it possessed. The end. Of course, not the end, because if we fade out, there's one of these eggs sitting in a pile of newspapers on a street corner. for the proposed sequel. Anyway, what we saw was pretty cut up. And Big Al was kind of perturbed, especially when those stomachs bursted open. And I said, well, you got your chest burster scene. He's like, fuck you. All right, so actually we liked Adios Sabata a lot better. But anyway, going back into this thing, Blue Underground had picked this thing up and put back all the missing scenes. And it's pretty fucking gory and pretty, nasty out there. But again, it sort of leaves a lot to be desired plot-wise because you never really figure out what the fuck's going on other than this is another alien invasion deal. They created the effects of the exploding chest by packing these things into the actor's chest, which were full of chicken liver, intestines, other offal from the butcher shop, and they had tanks of compressed air being pumped into it. So on a cue, the compressed air would fly into this chamber and blow all the shit out the front, which looked pretty fucking nasty. But anyway, Luigi Ozzie, I believe his name is, who directed it, also directed Star Crash before this, and this was a step down. But he also said that some of the money for the film came from some Colombian drug lords, which explains why it was so easy to shoot in South America. So it's definitely worth checking out on the Blu-ray because it has a lot more gore and it makes a little bit more sense, but not much. I had met Ian McCulloch at Cinema Wasteland when he came up to do the zombie reunion. Hell of a nice guy. I guess he lives in Italy somewhere and does flea markets on the side. But really nice guy. So is Contamination worth looking for? Yes, but not Alien Contamination because that's what they put out, I believe, on the Paragon VHS release. So that's our show for today. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, and thank you for the gift of your music that you've given millions of us. And above all, have a great weekend, stay safe, and we'll catch you Monday for some more mayhem on the flip side.